Well, I didn't transition very smoothly there, did I? Hey there, Joomla fans. Tim Davis here. I'm a Joomla fan too. Thanks for tuning in to today's Maintenance Monday live stream. And we have a bit of a quirky topic today that we'll be looking at. But before we get to that, if you're watching live, then please say hi in the comments. And of course, whether you're watching live or not, give the video a thumbs up. And if you're watching the recording, why not subscribe and ring that bell, so that you get notifications of new live streams and new tutorials. Yes, new tutorials are coming. But let's get to the topic for today, and that is WordPress, actually bots that are attacking WordPress installs. Now you might ask yourself why that's important for us who have Joomla sites to be concerned about those bots, and that is because they do affect our Joomla site to some degree, especially depending on some of the tools that you're using to track broken URLs. The first thing that they do is when a bot is attacking your domain or going to your domain, which I guess is an attack because it's malicious in intent, to look for a WordPress site to try to hack, it's actually going to kick in the 404 mechanism on your Joomla site. And that's going to call up your 404 page, which will cause calls on the database and template. It's doing some work. Now, if your template's fast, or sorry, if your Joomla site is running quickly and your server is fast, then that's not much of an issue. But I think, why bother having that happening anyways? Let's cut out that traffic. And as we'll see in a second when we get to one of my sites, there's thousands of attacks on that site. So you're going to, by dealing with these bots, we're going to cut down on how much resources they're taking. Also, they're not going to show up in the tools that we're using for tracking broken URLs and things on our site, because you won't see this list of these attack bots and the URLs that they're attacking, and we'll see that very quickly soon as well. And also, depending on how you have Google Analytics set up, these calls to pages that don't exist on your site could be throwing off your Google Analytics. Because you'll see traffic that is there. It's going to a 404 page. Is it lost? And how does it skew your different numbers? So let's head on over to the computer. Well, I'm at the computer now. Let's change screens so that we can see the screens here and show you what I'm talking about. Now, we're going to be looking inside the basic Joomla install here today as we look at some of these things that we're doing. Just a reminder of the giveaway that we have every month on the myjoomla.com, well, actually basicjoomla.com site, and we're giving away a membership, a one-year membership to manage one site for 1 year, redundant, sorry, on myjoomla.com. And as you can see, with 10 days left to go in November, nobody has entered. So if only one of you enters, if you only enter once, your odds are 100% you're going to win. That's so if you don't have that account, then if you don't have a membership with myjoomla.com that you've already paid for, then you want to check this out, and there's a video on that page. Just go to basicjoomla.com/giveaways, and you'll see everything and cards dropping down and links in the description below. So if we log into the back end of the basic Joomla site, we will see, and let me just go here to the main login here. I use a component called sh404sef to control my search engine friendly URLs, and also to fix broken links. I'll do a bunch of tutorials on that component in the future, but I want to just show you one part of that tool. And then I go to components sh404sef and go to 404 requests. This is a list of all of the calls to pages on my site that have been broken and that generate a 404 error code. And what I've done here is I've searched by the number of hits, and I have the highest at the top. And you'll see the highest number of hits on this particular site, on the basicjoomla.com site, is looking for wp-login.php, 688. And the most recent one was today, my time. Let's take 12 from that, 217, about 20 minutes ago. So 217, 117, doesn't matter. So every time a bot looks for this file, it throws off the statistics for managing these URLs and all the other things that I mentioned before. And so the solution that I've come up with and I've chosen to go with is simply to redirect those calls to a separate, just to a blank HTML file to totally bypass Joomla altogether. And let me show you how I do that. On this tab here, I am logged into the file manager for my for this website, basicjoomla.com. And what I do first of all in the root where Joomla is installed, so in this particular case it's public HTML. In that folder, I want to create a new file, and I just call it nothanks. And I think I put a hyphen in it. Let me just double check because I have something set up here that will make a difference. No hyphen. You can name this whatever you want. Just don't name it index.html or index.htm, or just don't name it index or default either. All right, because those are already assigned for something on the server. So I'm just going to call it nothanks.html and create that file. Next, after this refreshes, I'm going to go down to that file. There it is, nothanks.html. I'm going to edit it. And I'm simply going to type some text up at the top of it. I'm just going to say no, thank you. And I'm going to save that change, and I'm just going to close it. You could put whatever you want in there, but you know, why bring up an image or make a page for this? We're actually trying to cut down the resources, and nobody is going to see this because bots are the bots cannot see. They're not paying attention. So it just needs to be a basic thing. And I forget. Let's see. Thank you is the verb, and action. Yeah, okay, action. Thank you together is the actual thank you. So we can close that tab now. We've got that no thanks file there. Next, what we're going to do is go to the .htaccess file, which is part of how your URLs are rewritten if you're using search engine friendly URLs. Now, at this point, if you don't have a .htaccess file, you probably have an htaccess.txt file. And you can rename that file to .htaccess, so you take off the .text part. But before you do that, you really should know what's going on with your website as far as search engine friendly URLs, because you might not want to rename that to .htaccess depending on how it affects other things. So that's just a little caveat there. If you're not already using .htaccess, just look into that first about why you would turn it on for your site so that you don't end up breaking things. Normally I tell you to you back up your Joomla sites at this point as well, but we're only fiddling around with just these two little files that are not part of Joomla. But it is important to edit your htaccess file. I would do it in the file manager, because if you have an extension that does it inside of Joomla and you have a typo in what we're doing, it could break your site. And then you will have to log into the file manager to fix it. So I think it's always good to have access and to be working right where you have access to go in case a typo breaks it or something happens. So I have this .htaccess file. I'm going to right click. I'm going to go edit. And then I'm going to put up at the top a rewrite rule for anyone looking for this particular URL. So domain, in this case, basicjoomla.com/wp login.php. I'm going to redirect it to that nothanks.html page that we made. And the code for that, and I'll be pasting these codes down below in the description of the video after this live stream is done, is we want to put a line that says RewriteEngine is on. Now, to be totally tidy, if you look further down in the htaccess file for Joomla, you'll see RewriteEngine is already, it has a line there that turns it on. So if you want it, you could bump this up just to the top, but it doesn't matter to have a second one in there. It's not affected any of my sites anyways. And if that's a mistake, by all means, drop me a line in the comments below, and I'll clear that up. The next thing is we want to put in a rewrite URL, a rewrite rule. And which one are we doing here again? Login. And so basically what we will have here is this. We're going to paste this line, and I don't know how big that you can see this on your screen, but it says rewrite rule, and then there's a round bracket dot asterisk round brackets. That's basically a wildcard. Then WP dash login, and then another wildcard and a space. So basically the first part of that rule says rewrite any URL that has WP dash login in it. It could be right after the domain. It could be after / content or whatever. Rewrite anything that has WP dash login to / nothanks.html. And this little bit here at the end, the R equals 301L, that's just as the redirect as a permanent one. That tells search engines that that page has moved. Probably not necessary in this case because we're fighting off bots, and the bots, they don't care. They're not keeping a list of what's actually working or not, or what's being changed. But throw it in there just in case because it doesn't hurt. Now, when we save this htaccess file, and we go to the basic Joomla site and do this, we can go, even after giveaways, we can type wp-login.php, and we'll hit enter, and it just quickly sends us to the no thank you page. And we've avoided having to draw the template. We've avoided another 404 being registered in the database and sh404sef. It's just avoided a whole bunch of things. And now every time a bot tries to find, is looking for a WordPerfect login, it's going to just be redirected. And to show you, even though, so on the basic Joomla.com site here, we've got 688 hits. Here on the cybersalt.org site, I've got 27,600 hits. And when you look at, here I am filtering for WP dash. Over here, I'm showing 100 per page, and I mouse over, I've got 22. So there's actually 2,200 lines in the database showing all the times that URL WP dash has been called for. A URL with WP dash has been called for, and it's been recorded as a miss. So as a 404, and that's a lot of strain on the system. It's probably not that much strain, but still, this is about maintaining our Joomla sites and keeping them running efficiently. And I would like to be able to not have all of these things cluttering this list, so that when I use this tool, it shows me the next ones. In fact, watch if I just hit clear this search here. It shows me the next ones that I can be working on trying to fix. Because at the top, let's just close this here, there's Apple Touch icon. There's an image I need to fix. Then there's WP login, and then as I go down, other images. I just like to have things in here. I actually got quite a few things to fix, don't I? Well, that's another story by the riverbank. So let's get back to our redirecting here. I put that one URL in there. When we look at the list, we can see, here we go. Let me just do this again, WP dash. When we look at the list of these 404 requests that have WP dash in them, we'll see a number of things that are in common with them. For instance, there's WP dash login, WP dash includes. As we scroll down, we can find WP-admin. There's a bunch, and what I've done is I've compiled a list of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Looks like 8 of these rules. And what I will do is I'll paste all 8 of those rules in the description for this video below, so that you can just do this. You can go to your htaccess file. You can paste all of those rules in. I should show you. I have them here in a Word document, a WordPad document. And then when you save those, you will be protected against these bots that are looking for WP admin, cache, content, data, includes, JSON, login, main, and any other ones that show up that you see in whatever tools you're tracking. But the big ones, admin, content, includes, and login, are the ones that you really want to have covered. So that is the tip for today. And let's see now, Vinny, if you don't use sh404 SDF, you can set up a redirect and see 404 pages in the Joomla core redirect component. Yes, you can, Vinny. And I was going to mention that and maybe even include that today, but I actually have that redirect component turned off on all my sites because I use sh404 SDF. So what I was going to do was turn that on one of my sites and populate that so I could show that another time. But that's a good point. So what Vinny's saying in the chat there is that if you don't use sh404 SDF, go into your Joomla core redirect component, which you find, I don't know if, yeah, you will find it under components, redirects. Now mine is not going to show up because I have it turned off unless it's already populated from me turning it on today. And the hamsters are a little bit slow today on my site. Oh, there we go. Here are redirect links. I'm just going to leave this. Tell you what, I'm going to wrap this up and then we'll take just a second to look around at this afterwards. Because the big point is redirect the URLs of the bots that are attacking WordPress sites on your web hosting, and you'll cut down on a bunch of hassle and energy and concentration, which I've obviously just lost for a second, and space in your database, all of these things that I mentioned before earlier on in the video. So that's the tip for today. And let's go back to that full screen there. I hope that was helpful to you. It's not one that I've seen around, and it can help tidy up things quite a bit. So, well, here's a question, John. Any special reason to not combine them into one redirect for WP? I guess no URL would contain WP on Joomla. That's a good question. Let me just flip over here to the chat window so bring it up so people can read that. I did think about that, John. The only thing is, if you had an article that for some reason had WP dash in the title. Let's say if I did a news article for a company called Western Products Western Products is hiring, but I just put WP is hiring for the URL for that article, then that would never work. That page would never come up. And down the road, if I did that and forgot about WP dash and wondered why it didn't come up, I might be thinking, oh, I might forget that I'd done this. It might take a while to figure out. And especially if you have people who are adding content to your Joomla site and giving titles, they might not know that they might not know about this redirect that you have, and they might actually use WP as an initial in a title or something. It might end up in the URL. So I think WP dash might be a bit risky, although certainly someone working on their own site that remembers that all the time would have no problem keeping track of that. But yes, you could make an htaccess rule that would catch all the stuff that's just WP dash, just with a bit of that risk. But yeah, that's a good point for raising that. Okay, let's take a look at this redirect links. But first, for anyone that wants to leave now, I'm just going to thank you for your support of the channel, and thank you for tuning in today or watching to this point on the recording. And as always, please, if you're not a subscriber, go ahead and subscribe. It's free, and it will add joy to the world. If at least it adds joy to my world when someone subscribes. And we'll catch you the next time. So, for those of you that are leaving at this point, thanks for watching, and again for your support. Enjoy your Joomla sites, and God bless. All right, let's see this. What would I be looking at? I might not have this populated enough to have any links that have come up yet. Oh, there you go. Well, I did with one of mine. All right, so what do we do here? New URL. Oh, and there is some stuff in there. Good. Thanks, Vinny. And thanks for your tip and for making me go into here, because that's going to be helpful too. Probably still have to do a separate. Oh, look at that new URL. Excellent. And what do we want the new URL to be? We want it to be Control V. Might as well go right to the secure certificate. Oh, and that one's got 2 hyphens on it. All right. Basicjoomla.com. Let's throw a www in there. nothanks.html. And we will enable that and save that. Uh-oh, don't see my screen. Thank you. There we go. Thanks for catching that. Let's do another one. WP. All right, I created that login. Here's one down here for basicjoomla.com/news/WP-login. So I click on the link, and I go up here and I enable that. Then I'm going to just copy this URL here and put in the S for HTTPS, the www, because that will redirect anyways, and the new /news WP login. I want the new URL to be nothanks.html. Vinny, just to catch me up quick here, is there a way that I can create a rule in the basic Joomla redirect method? Because this is obviously fixing one at a time. Anyway, so I would go enabled. I could also put a comment here when fight WordPress bots. Save and close. Let's take a look while I'm just waiting on that leg for you typing back. In fact, I've got things live happening on my laptop over here, so I can probably see things a bit sooner. A bulk import. Check under options here. We'll have a look. Enable more advanced functionality for the component. Let's say yes. Yeah, no, I was just wondering. I was wondering if there's a way in redirect in order to do a bulk redirect, because I know in SH404 SEF there actually is a way to create a rule now where you can redirect all of one type of URL to another section. So if you change a blog name from cats to dogs, you can say anything that has cats, flip it around and move it to dogs. But yeah, htaccess rules, putting the rules right in htaccess with the wildcards, and that is probably the most efficient way for these big rules. You should see the crazy htaccess file I've got for that cybersalt.org site, because it was an old HTML site with thousands of pages with all kinds of rules and different things like that in it for numbers and numbered articles, and it's insane. Let's just try clicking in here, see what the advanced options are that come up. Redirect status code, that wasn't in there before, was it? Looks like that's what added what you could send. All right, I don't see anything else. So yeah, the htaccess rules, like I've got up here for the wildcards, is pretty robust. And I guess later on I will show how to do a rewrite rule with the SH404 SEF. It's a new feature, just out this week, and haven't even updated all my sites to it yet, but I did take a look at it. But anyways, all right, Vinny, that was an awesome tip. Thank you very much for that. And John, I appreciate your question and your comment there too. So I think that that is pretty much it then for us to see. I will spend some more time having a look around in the redirects here. Batch, update new URLs. I think that's for importing. Maybe that's it, new URL. Oh, look at that. All right, there's an advanced tool right there. We're looking at all files that have WP. Okay, first of all, I'm going to select the redirect URL. I think this is what's happening here. Then we're going to go select everything that has W. Let's just do this as a test, because, well, I could always delete these anyways. If we leave it at everything with WP dash in it, and then select everything in the column, go down to the bottom to the new URL and go Control V, because I just copied that no thanks URL. And I could actually, the comment, fight WordPress bots, update all those links at once. And yes, okay, that's a great way, and they're all made active. So now through the redirects component, we can replace we can put in a redirect URL for everything that fits the filter up here, which means that we can then show 100 URLs at once based on this filter by selecting the drop down there. We can also filter by status, created. Do we have publish? Status ascending. Oh, search tools. We go to search tools, select status. Let's see only the ones that are disabled. Great, which gives us all of these other ones, which we could once again click to select all of those. Batch update new URLs. Put in the new URL. Great. Probably remember there in the fight. Hey, and look at that. Excellent. I learned something, which is what this channel is all about. And so I probably will show that as a separate tutorial someday, or live stream. Thanks a lot, Vinny. That was awesome. So we can clear this search. Yes, you're right. It is more efficient. And apparently, though, okay, so I need to rinse, lather, repeat because, oh, sorry, I cleared the search. I have, right now on this site, 2,400 URLs, which you would not think there's that many, but I could kind of go through and look. Oh, some of them for cPanel, and all right, something to look at. But yes, excellent. All right, I'm gonna have to explore that a little bit more for some other tutorials. Anyways, like I said, that's awesome, Vinny. Thanks very much. So I think that probably covers everything for that, which means that no, that's not going to do it. Which means that I can wrap it up there and go grab some lunch and keep playing around with some things, and maybe actually get in front of the green screen and get out some new tutorials as well. So thanks, everybody. Like I said, thanks, John, for your question, and that was really good. Got some thinking there. Remind me of a point. And Vinny, that was really good, and appreciate that. So, guys, and whoever, and gals, and whoever else is still watching, that's it for today's Maintenance Monday live stream. Thanks for tuning in. Don't forget to give the video a thumbs up, and enjoy your Joomla sites. And God bless you. Bye bye.